Welcome to WYCE's Community Close-Up, our weekly public affairs program produced in partnership with the Revitalization, a hyper-local news service of the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. Community Close-Up brings you a diverse perspective from community leaders throughout West Michigan. I'm WYCE's Janet Zahn, and it's my pleasure to welcome Alex Karatkevich, Executive Director, and Kelly McCabe, Program Coordinator, both with the Creston Neighborhood Association. Online, it's crestongr.com. Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us, Janet.
Yeah, Creston Neighborhood Association serves residents of Creston, the largest neighborhood in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So you guys are like the top dog for neighborhood associations, and your programming, your range of programming really is a great illustration of what a neighborhood association can do. So we're here to talk a little bit about what you do and some of the great programming that's happening this summer. Alex, give a little bit more of a fleshed out overview of Creston Neighborhood Association.
Sure. Well, thank you for saying all of that. We appreciate it. Yes, as the biggest neighborhood, we certainly cover a lot of ground with our different programming. We do a lot of events throughout the year that bring neighbors together, activate different projects in our parks. We have ongoing committees that meet monthly that discuss different topics around sustainability or land use. And our events really cover a lot of topics to bring neighbors together and provide opportunities to become civically engaged or get resources, connect with one another, or address a specific issue like our farmers market. The Creston is a food desert. There's a large part of it that's a food desert. So the neighborhood association, to address that inequity, brought the farmers market to the area and is now on year 3 of bringing more food. So we are neighbor-led, and we really try to empower neighbors in everything that they want to do to give back to their community.
And the events are fun.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the things that you have coming up. You've got a great slate of programming coming up this summer.
Yeah, we do. So kicking off the beginning of this summer is the Creston Farmers Market, as well as our yard sale day. So homes all over the neighborhood, of course, have their yard sales. The farmers market includes a lot of fun activities throughout the year, in addition to food access. We are going to have our repair fair, which is a volunteer-powered free service to our neighbors to repair items for free.
I love that. And that's something that started with the Earth Fest, right?
Yes. Yep. So we actually had our first repair fair last year in 2025, but our Earth Day Fest was kind of the big event where we debuted it for a more official event. And yeah, so we have tons of volunteers who are skilled at different things and can repair anything from jewelry to lamps to mending clothing to bike repairs. So we're really excited to offer that as a free service to the community.
Great way to save money and prevent us from having to keep buying new stuff all the time.
Absolutely. Keep those things out of the landfill and learn skills from your neighbors.
Right. You also do garden tours. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the garden tour features about 13 unique gardens in the Creston neighborhood, and we have a lot of great gardeners, including our community garden at our office at the neighborhood association. And it's a self-guided tour. We set up on a Saturday morning. You can come pick up your maps and mosey around. The farmers market also goes on that day, so you can stop by. But yeah, it's a great way to showcase all of the hard work and great work that people put into the neighborhood and make it more lively and beautiful.
So an event that you were sharing a little bit about before we started here is the Creston Criterium happening in August. And that seems like a really fun bike race. You want to talk about that event a minute?
Yes. So it is very exciting. We're thrilled to have been approached and to be working with another organizer on that event. It is a so-called NASCAR on bicycles. So it's through the city streets, and we have there will be a lot of professional bike racers that will come from all over the Midwest and the country to join us for that day and partake in that race. And we'll have a lot of business activations. There's going to be be like a family fun kind of fest to it as well. We're going to set up bounce houses and things like that so the kids can come down and watch these professional racers. And it's really very exciting. It's kind of a cool, unique event. And we always say keep Creston funky. So it feeds right into it.
Keeping Creston funky has been a saying for a really long time and a goal for a long time. With regard to that criterion, when you say professional racer, so it's not like, hey, I like to ride fast, I can just be part of this. You have to, is it specific people that get to be part of this race?
Yeah, so it is like open for people to register to it,
Okay.
but it is like a ongoing, like professional. There's races in Milwaukee and Chicago and Indianapolis, so I'm probably not the master of who gets to race and who doesn't, but there is a section in there. One of the races is a community race, so if you want to come down and see the event and then like bring the kids and take a tour around like the actual route and stuff, there's going to be plenty of things to do and ways for the community to engage with that event. It'll be pretty cool.
Sweet. So, Kelly, you were talking about how Art Bash is one of your favorite events. You want to talk a little about that?
Yeah, so Art Bash happens in October. This year it's October 9th. Last year we began hosting the event at Kingma's Market Greenhouse. So we really transformed that greenhouse space into a fun kind of evening event. String lights, lots of food, lots of good music. And so what we have is 10 to 12 artists who are actually creating art live at the event. So they're painting a piece of artwork and then those pieces get auctioned off in a live auction, which is always fun and exciting. And then we have a silent auction, and it's one of those events. It's been going on, I think, since 2006. So it's one of those events that Creston community members and beyond just know about and I think really cherish. And so it's a moment in, as it starts to get crisp out, for community members to come back together, have some fun, support local artists and creativity, which I think all really supports the Keep Creston Funky. Art is a big part of that. So,
And is it a ticketed event where if you want to, you can't just wander in and take part of it? You need to get tickets in advance, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
It is one of our biggest fundraising events of the year. So it supports the Creston Neighborhood Association. So it is a ticketed event as well.
That actually raises a really interesting point about neighborhood associations in general and how how you're funded. You do fundraising activities, of course, but the city itself provides some funding for each neighborhood to be able to provide resources and connecting activities and so forth. So I guess I'm just wondering if you want to say a little bit more about how it fits into the city itself.
Yes, well, as nonprofits, as you know, have to be pretty creative on how they get their funding and make things happen on behalf of their community. Certainly, the city does provide some funding through kind of a state and federal grants and things like that. So with shifting landscapes, comes shifting expectations and what's available to us. So these events do, we do, most of our events are free and accessible to the public because we want people to engage and like have that same opportunity, but we do have to take some of the opportunities to raise funds. And so we do have a membership structure, so people can it's $30 for the year, which is pretty accessible. So if people want to support the work that we do, they can become a member, and there are some perks that come along with that, but it is really helpful to us to have that kind of like underlying support. And then we have the Art Bash, those tickets that get you into the event and support art in the area. So
I think that lifting Creston up as such a great example of neighborhood engagement opportunities, but looking at some of the things that y'all have managed to do and keeping on the leading edge in our city, helping keep a Grand Rapids Public Library branch in your community, organizing business owners to revive the business district, and collaborating with artists and students. There's so many great art installations and murals in the Creston neighborhood, and I know that the association CNA has been part of that work, right? So Is there any other particular highlights of CNA that you're particularly proud of?
I think those are all great examples. And, we sit here today, but we sort of stand on the shoulders of everyone who's come before us and done such important work in the community. I think the one thing that I would highlight is just how engaged community members are. I think, some of our events, they take 20 to 30 volunteers to pull the event off. And every time we have people show up, whether it's for just an hour or if it's to help plan the event. So I think just really the engagement of neighbors in the Creston community and even beyond, we get volunteers from other neighborhoods, which is always so exciting. So that's something that really stands out to me, is just people wanting to activate within their communities. And like Alex mentioned, pushing forward neighbor-led projects,
right?
Because that's one of the things that I always want to emphasize is the neighborhood is for all of us. And we have the space and the power and the ability to push forward projects that we each want to see and shape the communities that we want to live in.
Well, I think ideally a neighborhood association provides the infrastructure for the people living in that neighborhood to be active and make an impact. Seems like you do a great job of that.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good way to put it, is we really just try to empower our neighbors to, do what they can in the community. I think the other thing I would add, if I may, is just the food insecurity aspect of it right now. And that's a nationwide problem, statewide problem, and certainly in Creston we are experiencing that. So right now we're involved in 2 projects specifically around that. Obviously the farmers market was a response to food insecurity a few years ago, and that is ongoing, but we're also working on our Living Green committee that meets monthly. So if you're interested in sustainability projects and things like that, join our Living Green committee. And they in Aberdeen Park right now are working on an urban orchard project to bring in a few different partners who can bring food to the neighborhood in that way that will be harvestable by the neighbors. And so that's a great project for bringing food into the area. And then we're also working with a few other partners to open something called Georgie's Market. And that is a nonprofit grocery store located in the heart of Creston as well.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just north of Leonard, and it's going to offer food at cost for people. You don't have to be enrolled in any specific programs, but that's another thing that we're helping bring to the neighborhood for that specific area to have more access to fresh foods.
Wow, that's amazing. And talk about responding to a need. That I think is the hallmark of good neighborhood associations. Anything else that you want to add in before we wrap up this afternoon? I feel like you've shared extensively about the great work. So if you want to find out more, if you want to connect, CrestonGR.com is online. I want to thank you so much for coming. Alex Karatkevich and Kelly McCabe, both from Creston Neighborhood Association. Thank you so much for being here today. You've been listening to WYCE's Community Close-Up, a weekly public affairs program produced in partnership with the Revitalization, a hyperlocal news service of the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. This is WYCE's Janet Zahn. Thank you for joining us.